This is a little demo of our fiberglass repair kit. First of all, we got to run into the dock. Dock. Got it. Okay, that's our hole from running into the spike in the dock. First thing is to sand that area out, get rid of all the Gelcoat, get down to clean fiberglass. This can be done with a mini grinder. I'm just using a sander with a 40 grit disc on it because it's fairly thin. Don't have to go through too much fiberglass. Okay, I've sanded this area out until I'm almost through the fiberglass and gotten rid of most of those white areas, which are delaminated fiberglass. You should try and remove as much as possible. We've got holes right through the hull, so we need some kind of a backing before putting the fiberglass on. If you can't get at it, you can take a piece of cardboard with a string on it, shove it through the hole, and then pull it up to make a backstop, and then just fiberglass over top of that. Okay, I've sanded out the areas where there are holes and backed them up with some masking tape just so that the resin doesn't run through when I put the glass on. You want to cut your fiberglass pieces to fit the area before you mix your resin. So you just cut them roughly to fit that area, and because this is fairly thin laminate, I'm going to do about 3 layers, which will come out to about the original area of the laminate. If your fiberglass is a lot heavier, then all you need to do is just cut more pieces and keep building them up. Okay, I've got 3 pieces of glass cut that will more or less cover that area. It doesn't have to be exact because you're going to be sanding it when it's dry anyway. Okay, we're all set to mix resin. Once we mix the resin, don't mix any more than you're going to use within about 10 minutes. For this quantity, I'm going to use about 3/4 of this jug, which should be enough to do the whole thing. So that's about 1.5 ounces of resin, and you put in about 10 drops of hardener per ounce and stir it up. That's 10 drops. Stir this up. When you stir it up, if you have enough hardener in it, it will change color slightly and get a little bit darker. That's how you know that you've got enough catalyst in it. If you over-catalyze polyester resin, it won't, for small amounts, it's not going to be an issue. Brush on a thin coat over the area where you're going to put the glass. Just one very thin coat. Brush it into the area where the holes are. Okay, take your first piece of glass, just stick it on there. Take the brush, brush it out until the glass disappears. You don't want to use any more resin than is necessary to make the glass disappear, because if you do that, you'll have it running all over the place and it's a mess to clean up. So just use enough. Okay, that's the first layer. It's wet out and disappeared. Put the second layer on the top. Same thing again. You can just dab it on with a brush initially, and then once you get it dabbed on and start to wet out from below, just add enough resin to allow it to wet out. And that's it. So you just dab it around like that. Last layer's going on. Last layer, if you make it a little bit bigger, it'll tend to cover the rough edges and that sort of thing. So that's it. It's done. We leave that for an hour or so until it's hard, and then we sand it. As you can see, I used twice as much resin as I really needed. Do not throw this in the garbage. Put it on a non-flammable surface and until it kicks off, because it will, a volume like this will get hot when it kicks off. Okay, this is nice and hardened up. Just smooth it out a little bit. Okay, I'm just using 80 grit there to get the rough part down. Got a couple of small divots from the holes, so I'm just going to refill it with some resin and microballoons. So you take some more of the resin and put about a quarter of a cup in there, half an ounce of resin. And I'm using some 3M bubbles, which make a nice, lightweight, easily sandable filler. And because we're doing white, I'm using this instead of microballoons, which are brown. But you put in a little handful and just keep stirring it in till you get putty. This is not bad the way it is. I'm just going to add a little bit more. That's about the right consistency there. And now we add the hardener. You very carefully measure out about 8 drops of hardener. Okay. So you stir that up really well. Make sure you scrape out the bottom. And then just smear it on here. Now, just to smooth it out, credit card makes a good body filler. If you don't happen to have a plastic spreader, just fill that so that we're just trying to make it a little bit smooth. You don't need to build it up too much. Just try and get it built up a bit. Fill the low spots. Okay, that's it. We're going to leave that till it hardens up and then sand it again.